I didn't let that stop me though. I at least wanted to jump on here and do, at least a 20-minute live. I wanted to talk about something just because it's kind of irritating me, and I'm kind of exhausted from seeing it. There's just too many coaches. Everybody is a coach nowadays, and I want to talk about that. Like, you got 20-year-old kids out here teaching people to be how to make $100,000 a month when they have no experience. Almost guaranteed. I mean, sure, there's a one-off kid that may be making that, but generally speaking, to have a 20-year-old kid teaching business metrics is ludicrous. And I don't know who's taking this kid seriously, or anybody who's taking these kids seriously other than other kids, but it's not real. And anybody who's actually, us adults and us grown-ups, we can see through that, and we understand that. So it's quite funny to see the circus continue. But I've noticed it's just in so many different aspects. It's not just that. Like, I'll touch on this in another episode, but I heard Gary Brecka talking about how Natalie Dawson, took over 10X Health as president. And when I heard that, I was thinking, why? She has, from what I know, she has no business experience other than helping her dad with his business. That's it. I don't know what that entails. Maybe she was doing all the administrative assistance work. Maybe she was doing his taxes. Maybe she was also doing the hiring and firing. Maybe she was doing the logistics of it. I don't think so, though, because when I heard her speak several times at 10X headquarters and 10X boot camp, business boot camp, she didn't mention any of that. All she said was, I help my dad with his business. And so I don't know how that qualifies her to run a business, let alone be a president. I'm guessing just, being married to somebody who has grown a business and sold it, like Brandon Dawson, qualified her, I guess. And I don't know. It's weird. So again, people like that have no business teaching business metrics either. She should just talk about what she has expertise in. And like I said, to my knowledge, she was never a business owner. She doesn't know what it's like to actually run a business, that's in full motion and all the functionalities of what it takes to actually run a business. Therefore, she should not be teaching it. So anyways, I wanted to address really quick, if you're on Instagram, what's up, guys? I am also doing a live stream on Instagram, but just so you guys know, if you have not followed the YouTube podcast, Today's Misguided Mentors, jump over there. That way I can see your comments in real time and I can engage and reply, just like Kevin did right now. He was saying just because she was married to vampire Brandon. Yeah, exactly. So anyways, I suggest you guys go to Today's Misguided Mentors on YouTube. There's also on my story, there's a link I put there. It made it very easy. Just go to my story, click on that, and you'll be able to do that. So if you subscribe to that, you'll actually be helping me get these messages out to people and helping young entrepreneurs so they don't get taken advantage of and their vulnerability is not exploited. So I appreciate that, you guys. Yeah, so 100%. I don't know what, I guess that being married to Brandon Dawson qualifies her. Much like I would say the same thing with Elena Cardone. She had no, as far as I know, she didn't have any business experience. She was an actress, or an actor. I don't know what you call them nowadays. But all of a sudden, she married Grant Cardone and she's like, I want to start doing that. I want to start doing courses. I want to start speaking and all that. And that's great. But, I don't think she has any business talking about, maybe now she does, now that she's I don't know her involvement with running the business. You know what I mean? I don't think it's substantial. I've never heard them talk about it. So what people are claiming, these people, they everybody is a coach, right? First, and then they come out with big claims. They come out with huge claims like, I'll show you how to make $100,000 in a month. And it's like, why are you making this type of claim? Do you make $100,000 a month? If so, can you validate that? Can you substantiate that? And I'm not talking about like what Andy Elliott did with his fabricated $700,000 annual pay stub that he uses. Yeah, he can produce that, but what people don't realize is, talking about him really quick, is he was able to get that by scamming and forging, from what I seen in the court documents that were submitted, that he, essentially got out of by taking a plea deal and snitching out the rest of the people that were involved. So that's not a real statement or a real pay stub that people can reflect on. So it's just a lot of people making claims that have no experience and nothing to substantiate these claims. So I would suggest, if people are getting mentorship or idolizing these people or glorifying them or, whatever, looking for that solution through them, you should figure out ways to ask for certain things for them to substantiate that. I'm not talking about something that they whipped up on Canva, like some actual proven documents that show whatever they're saying they can do, they have done. That's the first step. And then the second obvious step is to make sure they're ethical. Like, make sure they actually care. There's a point, I was just talking to a friend of mine, Chris, yesterday on a Zoom call. And, he's, I think maybe 50s or 60s. Hopefully he's not that old, because I'd feel bad. But he's an older gentleman. He's had a lot of business experience and investments and things like that. And he's actually had a lot of interaction and done business with a lot of the people that I've talked about. And we were talking, and he was telling me, I've noticed there's a shift in most of these people where that goes from, the whole caring about people, putting people over profit, to where it shifts profit over people. And now all they care about is money. So I want to talk about that part really quick with just a little bit of time I got here. I want people to pay attention, because if I'm trying to help people and trying to give people advice on, how to avoid stupid claims and unethical leaders like that, you gotta, I guess the biggest piece of advice I can give you is, like, you gotta get in touch with yourself, because the more you know yourself, the more you're like in touch with your intuition and your conscience, you're gonna see right through that. These red flags come up for all of us. That comes up when something seems off. It usually is. And when that happens, unfortunately, there's a portion of people that recognize that and they're like, yeah, no, I'm out. And then there's a portion of people that feel it and ignore it. And they feed into that temptation energy. And what I would suggest is, no matter how much the shiny object looks, no matter how if it seems like it's too good to be true, it usually is. It really is. And I'm not saying don't be a dreamer, don't be someone who's shooting for the stars, but feel the energy is what I'm saying. Get in touch with yourself, pay attention to that energy. Either it's good or it's bad. Either these people are givers or takers. Either they care for you or they don't. Simplify this for you. And the best way you can simplify that is actually get in touch with you. So I just want to point that out, because I think a lot of people might, I got accused of this the other day. Someone said that I don't do enough upliftment, teaching people how to, get motivated and all that stuff. And I explained this on my Instagram that, I'm not a motivational speaker. Like, I have maybe I am, but that's not my intention. We got plenty of those. We got too many of those in my opinion. We don't need another motivational speaker. What we need is someone preparing people for the predatory atmosphere so they don't get taken advantage of. And that involves getting in touch with yourself. And so if I ever was motivational, I would say that would fall in that category. Like, I want people to get to know themselves, because I can honestly say one of the reasons why I was deceived was because I kind of lost myself. And then you combine that with a little bit of fear and a little bit of uncertainty, which all business owners had during the pandemic. When you have that going on, I don't know why my mic is clipping like that. Good thing I caught it. But when you have all that going on, you can get taken advantage of. All right. So just wanted to drop a little bit of that in there. All right. Let me catch up on some of your guys' comments here. Hey, what's up, Ace? Thanks for switching over. I appreciate that, brother. So you went to the first 10X GrowthCon, and the event alone opened your eyes to what you call the money cult. It's all a scam. You love what I'm doing. Thanks, man. I really appreciate that. And it's exactly what I was just describing is, it's a money cult. It's just geared towards money. And, Kevin, you were saying 100% with Elena, and she let it go to her head. That just says what they want and spend their husband's money. Yeah, exactly. What's up, Lorraine? Hey, thanks for that. I appreciate you saying I'm the realist. I really appreciate that actually, because I was having I went to Podfest in Orlando and I met a handful of great people. And one thing I always notice is when I'm out networking and meeting new people, which I'm very selective with in the events I attend and do that stuff, whether I'm speaking or just attending it, real people recognize real people. It's a true thing. Like there's a weird thing going on where like if you're fake, you don't know yourself, you're not being genuine and you're just not authentic with yourself, you only want to be around people who are also operating that way, which is why these type of events are just filled with that type of energy. Everybody's feeding on that. Everybody's just wanting to chase money. They're all focused on a facade. It's about business growth. It's not like the whole purpose of making real connections with people goes out the window. And on the other hand of that, real people recognize real people. Like you can tell when someone really knows themselves. You can tell when someone is just genuine. They don't want anything from you. They don't have any expectations. They just want to get to know you. They want to be respectful, give you their time. Like that's a good feeling because that's real people you're interacting with. And I really appreciate that because I value also real people. And, there's a lack of it in the world, obviously, but there's a huge lack of it in business and sales, especially the self-development industry. The self-development industry has become such a tricky place to navigate these days because everybody's so fake. So you have to sift through the 95% of people who are putting on just to find the 5% of people who are real and not faking and not putting on a show, not building a facade, not worried about their ego. That's the stuff I'm looking for. And that's also why I'm very selective with the type of networking events I go to and the type of, public speaking events I attend or speak at. Like it's something I don't want to, it takes a lot of energy to deflect all of that negative, evil type of energy and that vulture type mentality. It's exhausting, trying to engage with someone who acts like they get it. They get what you're saying. They're like, oh yeah, no, totally, dude. Yeah, we should get together. We should talk. Next thing you know, you hit them up and they ghost you. I'm just like, that was a hell of an acting job you did there. Just everybody's fake is what it is. And, I always encourage people like, it's okay to say no to people. It's also okay to, let them know like, hey, I'm not vibing with you. Like, we're just not vibing, dude. Like, whatever. I appreciate the conversation, but I'm probably not going to reach out to you after this. Like, I think people are scared to actually be honest, like on that level. So, so in regards to, as my friend Danielle likes to say, coaches coaching coaches to coach other coaches, I've noticed there's also coaches who have never ran a business teaching coaches how to run a business. And this is a very real thing too. There are, even though I was poking fun at Brandon Dawson on my Instagram post, he did say something I agreed with, but he also uses, that organization uses good for evil. And one of the things he said in there was there's a lot of people that are teaching you something that they've never done themselves. That's a very real thing. A lot of coaches have never even had a business. A lot of these people that I call out, if you look into them, they've never even started a business prior to their coaching business. So like Andy Elliott, Wes Watson. Matter of fact, I wonder if Grant Cardone even had a legitimate business before the coaching business. Maybe he did, the real estate business, I guess. But I'm talking about like a, product, like a brick and mortar, maybe service-based business, product-based business where it requires customer service, in-home sales presentations, maybe like, follow up before, after, asking for a review, going to home shows, getting involved with the Chamber of Commerce, like real grassroots businesses like that. I don't think he's ever has. Maybe I don't know enough about him, but all I know is the coaching space. But a lot of these coaches I've noticed and these mentors, they've never had an actual business prior to their coaching business. They just jump right into the coaching. They got coached by somebody to coach, and then they just launch their coaching program. They do something once, and then all of a sudden they're qualified to start coaching and mentoring. It's terrible. It's a terrible cycle. I was just commenting with somebody on the Instagram page about this, where it's just the coaches teaching coaches to teach another coach, and then it's just round and round and round the circus goes. It's crazy. So what I would suggest to, we all know, we're aware, now that we're aware of it, how do we combat that? How do we bring more awareness to other people who don't know about that? Well, you start talking about it, much like I'm doing. That's one of the main reasons why I brought this up, because I want like the young entrepreneur to see something like this and be aware of it. I don't want people to be scared and like avoid these experiences. I mean, I want them to hopefully avoid having a bad experience, but I think it would do them a justice to go through the experience and feel what I'm talking about. Like, oh shit, like this is what he was talking about. That is something I want to do. That's why I'm doing this, and I'm hoping that some young entrepreneurs, I know that's actually happening. Like a lot of people are reaching out to me, letting me know that I've been impacting them. And so I really appreciate that. Yeah, real quick here. What were you saying? Let me make sure. Let me get your comments are getting away from me. Here we go. All right. Everything I'm saying is true here. Is the one thing I realized after I went to the 10X Con, Grant Elliott, Ed Milet, Russell, and Tony Robbins, is they know their audience and how desperate they are. Yeah, man. They're preying on that vulnerability, preying on that fear and the doubt, just like I was having, when I was during the pandemic as a business owner. Lorraine, you were saying, yes, it's really easy to get swept in the whole vibe at some of these events. Plus, they place dummies who buy sign up to packages to show you others going for it so they can end up signing it too. Yes, exactly. Yeah, I think what you're saying there, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think what you're saying is they're showing other people that who's signing up for it, so they're kind of building the hype up of who else is getting swept up into it. So it's like, look, this guy did it. It's the whole, and maybe I'm picking that up wrong the way you worded that, but it's definitely an atmosphere of like wanting to fit in with the elites. I talked about this on one of the other podcasts I did. It's like this whole, we're in this high performance class and we're above the average people mentality. Yeah, Kevin, you were saying Andy was this car salesman that made fake income statements to get people into cars and cooperated with the feds to take down the dealership. Now he's a sales guru. The internet is crazy. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was talking about. That fake statement that he fabricated. No one questions it, or they see it and they want to, like what I said earlier about people ignoring red flags. They might hear or see that and they're like, oh, he's just a hater. They're just haters. It's lonely at the top. Eagles don't fly with ducks. Like all these stupid sayings that get people to just brush it under the rug. Yes, 100%. Thank you for that. You said you're glad I'm talking about it. 100%. And yeah, they're selling a dream, Debbie. Exactly. And yes, Lorraine, they are fake people. They've lost themselves. They're people deep within. They don't know themselves, and they've lost themselves, and they've been tempted. They've been deceived by temptation, rather. And so again, when I'm talking about like, how can we combat this? How can we help people get prepared for something like this? It's really starting with just getting to know yourself and understanding yourself. Get good at saying no to the things you don't want. Have boundaries, assert yourself, know what your morals and your ethics are. It can happen to the best of people. Sometimes we all get lost, and it doesn't matter what age you are either. I've seen a lot of people glorifying God, glorifying Grant Cardone like a god, rather, at all ages. The 20-year-old, the 60-year-old. So it can happen to the best of them. Yeah. So exactly. So that's what I wanted to touch base on. Some of these, I'm going to elaborate more on this, but I just wanted to jump on here, get some content going for the day. Maybe I'll even jump on later to elaborate and pick this up. But I did want to talk about, it's just annoying to me to see that everybody's a coach nowadays. And then they come out with these huge claims, and it's 20-year-old kids. And it's just like, what is going on here? Like, you couldn't possibly have enough business experience to teach me anything that would help me. I don't know. There's a post I put on the Instagram where this kid's talking about how 30K isn't that much, or he's talking about what you can't do with 30K, and it's like, bro, why are you like? Do you think anybody's taking you serious? So, but that's the world that social media has created, and that's the world that coaches and mentors have created, and I'm hoping to insert a little bit of goodness in the sales and business industry by trying to get people to care about people and to bring the ethics back into the organizations, and also deconstructing. There's people out here that are like me who learned how to do it the wrong way, learned how to deceive, manipulate, interrogate, harass, shame, and bully into business for years. And we're doing it for years, like I did, unfortunately. And once I stripped myself of that and I said, fuck this, no more. This is not me. I'm not doing this anymore. I realized what's been happening. I had to start over. Not only that, did I had to publicly announce, I'm sorry, I did this. It's not me anymore. You're going to see a change going forward. And I have not swayed from that. I've been very consistent and frequent with my message, because you can tell I've been stripped down, and like, this is getting back to who I really am. It was never in alignment with me to treat people the way I did. And so part of that process involved me deconstructing what I was taught. And I think there's a need for that in the industry as well. So, yeah, Ace, you're going to start making videos too. You believe it's your job to speak up about the truth and about this, because people don't realize that it's a big majority of these individuals are doing to be normal, average people. Yeah, exactly, man. Definitely start talking about it, man. Like, do it. The more people that can talk about it, bring awareness, the more people are going to see that message, and they might be saved from being taken advantage of and going down a rabbit hole and losing themselves. And yeah, man, even you and me can collaborate on something. I love collaborating with other business owners, or not even business owners, just people talking about this. So we could always do an Instagram live if that's something you're open to as well, man. So again, if you're on Instagram and you're just hopping on, be sure to go to YouTube and subscribe to my page. It's called Today's Misguided Mentors. I really appreciate that. Reason for that is because I'm going to be able to interact with you just like everybody on here right now is doing with me. So go to my story, click subscribe, click the link there. It'll take you right to my page, makes it super easy for you. But that's pretty much it for right now. So pleasure chatting with you guys. Keep your eyes peeled. I got so much to talk about. I mean, I got years of stuff that I want to just bring to the table and talk about with my experiences, what I'm seeing, what I've been through, other people's experience. Obviously, at some point, I'm going to be doing some interviews on this podcast, and I look forward to that. Of course, I'd love to have anybody who would want to be on that as well. So, yeah. Ace, I did follow you the other day. Your name looks familiar. It definitely would be a great episode, 100%. So yeah, just reach out to me on Instagram. We'll connect. We'll make it happen. You guys have yourself a fantastic rest of your day. I got to go pick up my daughter from school, and then I got to go get my haircut. It's kind of getting long. And then, yeah, other than that, I'll catch you guys next time.